All right, we are at the Casey Jones Museum and Village, and there's the old country store and restaurant they have here, and it's good eats in there. And if I pan around here, you can see there's the Casey Jones Museum off across the parking lot. And then we've got over here a passenger car, so I think we can, no, can't go up in that one. So it's a Pullman car. Back out a little bit. So there's a lot of exhibits around here. I think we're gonna have fun looking at some of these and also visiting the train store. So back behind the museum is an engine, a locomotive, and a caboose. So we walk through here. Here's the Casey Jones house. How about that? Casey Jones, an actual person. Just to show you a few of the buildings over there. A lot of nice little craft stores. Good place to come, Jackson, Tennessee, if you ever get the chance. And let's look over here at the Casey Jones house. And there's the house. Across the street here. And we will look at the sign here. So this tells you a little bit. There we go. Just so you get a better look at this Pullman car, it's a GM&O. To Judge Milton Brown. So, in entrance to the museum, here's this little desk with an adding machine, or cash register, and then a telephone and Morse code keypads. All right, so here's an actual photo of Casey Jones. We're gonna go out and look at some exhibits and then into his house.
The Casey Jones story has permeated every.
All right, so here's some museum artifacts in the Casey Jones Museum. If you don't know the story, just briefly, Casey Jones, at the time of the accident, was working for the Illinois Central Railroad. And what happened is he was taking a passenger train down south and he was trying to catch up on time. He was supposed to have the right-of-way, but there were two freight trains on a siding, and one of the freight trains was having difficulties with the airlines. So three cars, the caboose, were out on the main line when Casey Jones spotted them, and he was going 75 but got his locomotive down to 35 miles an hour. And actually, although he was killed, he had saved all his passengers, and his fireman, he told him to jump right before it happened, so the fireman was also saved. So that's the brief story of the accident that led up to the legend of Casey Jones. So here's a facsimile of the sheet music. Takes a little poetic license with the story, but that's okay. And we understand how that works. So, but anyway, I do have a recording of it from 1910, and I'll try to get it on this video so you can hear it.
Come everybody if you want to hear a story about a brave engineer. Casey Jones was a rounder's name. On a 6-8-wheeler, boys, he won his fame. The caller called Casey at 4:30. Kissed his wife at the station door. Mounted to the cabin with his orders in his hand. Took his farewell trip to that promised land. Casey Jones mounted to the cabin. Casey Jones with his orders in his hand. Casey Jones mounted to the cabin. Took his farewell trip to that promised land. Put in your water and shovel in your coal. Put your head out the window, watch the drivers roll. I'll run her till she leaves the rail, 'cause I'm 8 hours late with that western mail. He looked at his watch and the watch was slow. He looked at the water and the water was low. He turned to the fireman and he said, "We're going to reach Frisco, but we'll all be dead." Casey Jones is going to reach Frisco. Casey Jones, but we'll all be dead. Casey Jones is going to reach Frisco. We're going to reach Frisco, but we'll all be dead. Casey pulled up that Reno hill, suited for the crossing with an awful thrill. The switchman knew by the engine's moans that the man at the throttle was Casey Jones. He pulled up within 2 miles of the place. Number 4 stared him right in the face. He turned to the fireman and said, "Boy, you better jump, for there's 2 locomotives that are going to bump." Casey Jones, 2 locomotives. Casey Jones, that are going to bump. Casey Jones, 2 locomotives, there's 2 locomotives that are going to bump. Casey said just before he died, "There's 2 more roads that I'd like to ride." The fireman said, "What can they be?" He said, "The Southern Pacific and the Santa Fe." Mrs. Jones sat on her bed of sighing, just received a message that Casey was dying. Said, "Go to bed, children, and hush your crying, 'cause you got another papa on the Salt Lake line." Mrs. Casey Jones got another papa. Mrs. Casey Jones on the Salt Lake line. Mrs. Casey Jones got another papa. Oh, you got another papa on the Salt Lake line.
So here's a good HO scale model of the accident. You can see the how the freight train is out on the main, and it shows the locomotive plowing into the back of the caboose. And also in this particular room, they have an old hearse. How about that old horse-drawn hearse? So, which is kind of interesting too. So. Luckily, they didn't leave any bodies in it. So now we're in the Casey Jones house. Here's the kitchen. And his children's bedroom. Old tin trains on the floor. And the master bedroom with a cat. How about that? And the living room. So here's the parlor. And I guess this is some kind of entryway. They've got a Edison cylinder player there, and then also a piano. I don't know how much of this is original to Casey Jones's time. Well, The cylinder player that absolutely wouldn't be, because up until that time they were all outside horn. So that would have been a few years after Casey. There you go. We came from down there, so I looked at the children's bedroom, and I guess this would be the dining room. Nice 12-foot ceilings in the house. So. Beautiful. Of course, this is interesting, an 1890s bathroom. I'm sure everybody will appreciate that. There's the water closet, the toilet, and the a tin bathtub. That's pretty interesting. And of course the sink. The looks have changed, but I don't guess the functionality has changed much over the years. So here's an old caboose they got attached to the end. I'm sure this caboose was used up until the 70s. I mean, it looks old, but it's not extremely old. The way I know that is because ACI labels on the caboose, so just painted over. And then we've got a mail car up here, an Illinois Central mail car. A couple switch levers out of an interlocking tower. And then a replica of Casey Jones's Pacific. Pretty sure it's a 462. Let me get up here just to check. This one, I'm pretty sure he was driving a 462, but this is a 460. So, I'm sure they did the best they could. And then they've painted it up with his number 382. And you can walk up here and ring the bell. And well, hello, kitty cat. Look, a kitty cat. How about that? I guess the cat felt safe in the firebox there, so until I disturbed it. All right, let's see what we can do here. See, they let you ring the bell. Isn't that great? All right, so that's it. Let's go back into the museum store. And then here's the gift shop to the museum. Not really any model trains for sale, but I might buy something just to have a souvenir for you. I hope you enjoyed this little tour of the Casey Jones Museum.